Okay, hi there. This is Casey Christensen coming to you live from West Kelowna, BC, where it's, oh my goodness, gorgeous. We've gone right back to summer. So it's absolutely beautiful here. We're going camping this weekend. I'm so excited because it's so warm and beautiful that we're going to be able to get out our paddle boards um, and hang out in the lake. So I'm very excited about that. So thank you for joining me. Today I want to play with this. I finally got this set in the mail, the Sweet Candy Canes set. It's a beautiful set. It's got lots of fun stuff going on, some great sentiments, and the dies are, oh my goodness, they're fabulous. I did a card with this while I was at retreat. Check out this die. This is so much fun. We're going to play with this die today. And then, as well as the dies, we have our candy canes, which work with the candy cane paper, which is awesome. A really neat looking label, which we'll also use, and some greenery. So let's get started. I want to show you in the catalog here on pages 8 and 9, you've got this as a suite, okay? It's the sweetest Christmas suite. It's a bit on the pricey side, I have to say, although I just love it. The suite includes your ribbons, your embellishments, the fancy paper. There's all kinds of fancy paper there, the DSP, and 2 stamp sets and 2 sets of dies. Now, because I wasn't entirely sure, I purchased this stamp set, the ribbons, the embellishments, and the paper. I didn't go the full pull this time. I just wasn't quite sure. The cute little label punch that we have here, I think it's so cute because look what you can do. You can stick a candy cane through it. It has these big holes. So you can stick a candy cane through it. So I'm planning on doing that at Christmas and putting it on my Christmas table with a candy cane through it. And then here's a better look at, this is what I got. So I got this set here with these great die cuts, and I got paper and embellishments. The other set is this. And I'm second guessing myself on that only because these elements here, these sort of ribbon looking things here are really quite gorgeous. So I may end up having to do that. And you know what? There's still time. Today only is free shipping. So I might just decide to go on tonight, order the rest of it, and it's free shipping. So why wouldn't you, right? Why not? So that's what I'm going to play with today. I'm pretty excited about this. I was waiting for it to come in the mail. Also, I want to show you the great paper that comes with. Now, the dies in the set that I got, these dies will cut out these candy canes. So I'm pretty jazzed about that. I do love it when they coordinate dies and DSP together. So the candy canes are gorgeous. Then on the flip side is this great sort of stripey. And then we've got smaller candy canes and another kind of stripe. More stripes. We're big on stripes this year. More stripes. And then I love this. I love this sort of polka dot. It's got kind of a rustic feel to it. Absolutely gorgeous. And then some more stripes. And the same sort of idea in the green, which I also like very, very much. And then we've got color candy canes and red stripe. And then a bit of a bolder red stripe. Now, keeping in mind, you could use the die cuts for the candy canes and the striped paper and cut out some candy canes, some striped candy canes with these die cuts too. So, and then that one has on the back this sort of white, sort of a polka dot, right? And again, as always, our DSP always tells you exactly what colors we're working with in this DSP. So garden green, pool party, real red, and sweet sorbet. I'm going to use the garden green and the real red today, but I'm pretty excited about getting going using some pool party too, because for some reason, pool party looks absolutely fabulous with these colors. So that'll be another card, but today I'm going to use the red and the green, and I'm going to show you these great die cuts we have here. So I'm going to start by cutting this, and I want to cut 2 of these. I want to cut 1 in each color. Now, what I discovered is when you cut this, it does not cut the outside of it. So you've got all these cuts through here, but as you can see along the edge, there is no cutting lines along the edge, so it's not going to cut the outside. So what I decided I would do is I'm going to line this up right along the very, very edge of my cardstock. And I'm just going to draw a line there. Sorry about my head, but I have to be able to see what I'm doing. So on both of these pieces, I'm just going to draw a faint pencil line, and those are going to be my cutting lines because I really want this to be symmetrical, and I want both pieces to be exactly the same size because they're going to sit on top of each other. So let's get my, hi Kimmy, how you doing? Let's get my trimmer out, and I'm just going to cut these right on those drawn lines so that I'll have two pieces that are the same size as my die cut. That just makes life easier, you know what I mean? So there's one, and then I'll cut this one. Oh, I'm feeling like it's time for a new blade in my trimmer. My edges might be a tiny bit fuzzy, but we'll do that later. Okay. You're having computer problems? Oh. Technology, huh? Technology. All right, so let's get these dies. We're going to do some more cutting, so I'm not going to put that too far away. So let's get these. I'm going to cut one of each color. I'm just going to pop that on there and line it up perfectly in that card piece. So that's one. And I don't know about you, but I love little bits and pieces, and I like to save them. And so this die is pretty fun for that because you get all these great little perfectly cut strips that I have been keeping. I just find them to be fun. So there we have it. See, there we go. So there's the piece I cut. But look at all these fun, perfectly cut little strips. I'm keeping them. I don't know that I'll use them, but until I figure out if I want to use them or not, I'm going to keep them. So let me just toss those off in a corner here so that I can, because they're such great little things. And also, if you ever do these in shimmer paper, like the shimmer green or the shimmer red, you'll find that those little extra bits are just beautiful to use for all kinds of different things. Those little strips that I just pulled off of them. So there we go. So let's cut this one. So I'm starting with a basic white card base. Oh, that looks a little crooked to me. Let me just straighten it out. I'm doing a swap, a Christmas card swap, and in that swap we start out with a basic white thick card base, because you should always do your card base thick. It just should always be thick. It just makes for a sturdier card and a nicer card. So that's what I'm doing. So this will be one of my cards. It might be the card I use. I'm undecided. It always takes me a little while to decide exactly what I'm going to use for a swap. Oh, I hope it's okay, Kim. Okay, so I've got my two pieces there. Again, I'm going to save these little bits. I don't know if I'll use them, but you never know. You never know when a little bit like that's going to come in pretty handy, and they're pre-trimmed on the edges to be a nice edge here. See that? Now we've got a stamp in this set that's a very long, narrow stamp. So it's the most wonderful time of year. There's no reason why you couldn't stamp that stamp right on one of those strips, right? On one of the longer strips, right? Waste not, want not, I always say. So there we have it. Let's get those out so that I'm not leaving a mess in my... So that's a great little die cut, right? I really like it. We're going to use a few interesting things today. So let's set that aside. So those are my die cuts, and how they're going to work is, this is my card base, and I'm going to put the green one sort of opposite side down to the red one. So we're going to get this lovely kind of crisscrossy thing going on here. You see that? That's cool, right? Okay, so let's get some other things ready. We're going to get some of our candy cane paper. So let's find our candy canes. There they are. And I'm going to cut out a couple of candy canes. Now, we also have stamps for candy canes. So if you want to do the stamping and embossing of the candy canes, that's great too. I'm just doing this because it's just how I'm feeling today. Just how I feel like doing it. So I want one in each direction. So I'm going to get my scissors and cut out some paper here. I think I would like I think I might be able to do two at once if I do this. So I'm just cutting this out so that I can fit it in my embossing cutting machine. There we go. I like those two. Now let's see if we've got them in the right direction, because that matters. I want to have one going one way and one going the other. So let's see how this will work out for me. Okay. Oh my goodness, that's on there good. It's on there real good. So there's one, green one. And I don't think I want to trust that, so I'm just going to grab a little tiny piece of washi tape. I always seem to manage to jostle things a little bit as they go into the machine, so I don't really trust myself to just let the to hope that the die is going to stay where I put it, because it probably won't. And this one. So there you have it. No waste here, right? You got two lovely candy canes in one cut. Okay. So let's cut those. Okay. So see what I said about being able to use it with the stripe paper as well? This is what I got on the back of the candy cane that I just cut. So you could do that too. You could cut it out of your striped papers as well as just cutting out the printed candy canes. But I love the printed candy canes. They're so bright and cheerful. There we go. We got a couple of candy canes. And let's see what other trouble we can get into here. I'm just getting all my bits ready here. So we got a couple of candy canes. I'm also going to use a piece of this. This is lovely layers of vellum. And there's several types of vellum inside here. I'm going to use a plain piece. But this is pretty nice. This vellum, it's got some different kind of things going on here. So it's very delicate. Vellum is just lovely. So you've got these kind of ones with florals on them. You've got some that sort of give the appearance of maybe some snowflakes. I'm thinking of using that one with the tree lot set. And then you got one here. You could put something beautiful in the middle of that. And then you have some plain ones. So I'm just going to use a plain one today, but those are a fun little item that can be found in the catalog. I'm going to use a plain one today. Now, I don't think I want it to be quite that big, so I'm going to cut it down. Let's see. Let's have a look here and see what we think. What would that be? I just use my thumbnail and dent it. So I'm going to say 3. Let's go with 3. 5. I'm just going to, you know what? I should use the other trimmer so I can get a true measurement off of it. Because if it's going to be 3 that way, I want it to be a true measurement on the other side. So if this is going to be 3, I want this to be about there. I just made a dent with my thumbnail. That's kind of how I do my measuring. So that's going to be 4. So 3 by 4. There you have it. 3 by 4. 3 by 4. So let's see, what else do we need? We've got some candy canes. We've got some candy canes. We've got some, I wanted a couple of leaves, and so I did those. Now the cool thing about this set is you've got your stamp to do your leaves. Just this stamp right here. You've got your stamp to do your leaves, but guess what? They give you 2 die cuts, so you can cut 2 leaves at a time instead of, doing one and doing one and doing one and doing one. So I like it when they do that, when they give you 2 dies the same, so you can cut more than 1 leaf at one time. It's just more time saving that way. Okay, so I'm going to do this. What else do we need? Oh, I know what else we need. We need a circle. So I'm going to use this one. This is a really cool punch. It's a circle with a bit of a, I don't know, like a fancy circle. It's got curved edges. It's really nice. So I'm going to cut, because we're using basic white, I'm going to cut a basic white, one of those. There's my circle. And I'm going to decide, let's see, I'm going to use this, there's 2 things I can do here in this really cool die. Can I fit that there? Yes, I can. I can do candy cane wishes and mistletoe kisses. And you know what's neat? I'm thinking of combining these 2 stamp sets. Because it says candy cane wishes and mistletoe kisses, I've got this set as well, this mistletoe magic. And I was thinking of mistletoe with a candy cane on it and one of these bows, and then candy cane wishes and mistletoe kisses. It's perfect, right? That's another day. I'm just going through my Christmas things now. Some of you know I had a huge Christmas order, and I am working on it. So I see there's someone else here. If you're here, please say hello so I know that you're here. So I think that'll be fun to work with that. So I'm going to use, let's see, I think I'm going to use the real red, and I will do the candy cane wishes and mistletoe kisses. And I'll do it in the real red. Now let's see how this stamps without the Stamparatus. I'm a little leery. I like to use the Stamparatus just in case I want to stamp it more than one time. But that's just me, or maybe everyone does that. I don't know. But I'm going to try stamping it just and see how we do. I'll give it a little room for the die. And let's just see what this looks like. That looks great. That looks great. I like that. Okay. Let me give this a clean off while we're using it. Otherwise, I tend to forget. Got my Stampin' Mist here and my cleaning. This is the best thing ever. I'm so glad they brought it back, this cleaning tool. It's just the best thing. And it's so good to clean your stamps with that Stampin' Mist because it conditions your stamps. Stamps are going to last longer if you clean them with that. It softens them. It stops them from, getting hard. So, okay. So now I'm definitely going to need some washi tape because I want to place this. It's a neat die, right? It looks kind of funky. But wait till you see what it does. It's pretty cool. I think that's pretty straight. It's straight enough for me. And let's just run that through. Okay, so I feel like we've got all our pieces done. And it's time to see, look at how cool this is. And also you get these perfect circles. I don't know if you're a collector of things, you also get these perfect circles that you might want to use somewhere. But look at how cool that is, right? So we're going to use some ribbon today is what we're going to do. So I'm going to use, just trying to decide what color I want to accent my punched circle there. Let's see. All right, let's get this stuff out of the way and let's see what we can do here. I'm going to get out my dollars, and I think I already started no, maybe I didn't. Maybe I did not. Oh, yes, maybe I did. I just don't recognize it because it doesn't look like garden green to me, but I did. So I'm going to take my circle, and I'm going to, I like to do this, right? Sometimes the circles just feel a little too stark white for me. So I like to add some color on there. A number of ways you can do that, but I think this is going to work for me today. So garden green, and I'm just going to go around the edge of this. Oh, look what I did. Okay, that was clever. I don't want to use the other side. It won't work as well because the edge isn't quite right. So let me just clean it off my hand. There we go. And cut another one. Because I got ink where it doesn't belong. And we don't like that. But the good news is, I always have more paper, right? You always have more paper. Okay, so my hands are clean. I think, yeah. Let's give this another go. And I'm just going to give this some green around the edge. You can give it as much or as little as you want. I don't want it to overpower. I'm not giving it a ton. You can go further in if you want to. But I like the look of this. And this garden green comes off so beautifully on this white cardstock. Okay, I'm liking that. All right, so let's look at putting this together and see what we've got. So we're going to start with our basic white card base, and it's your standard size. It's half a sheet, scored at 4 1/4. So I want to start with the green one, and I'm just going to take some glue, and I'm just going to put it where I can, okay? Mostly I'm putting it on the bigger bits, and make sure you do some in the corner so that it's stuck down in the corner. And I'm just going to pop that down, somewhat evenly placed. Do your best. I'm not always the best at this, but I do my best, and you know what? If it's too perfect, it doesn't look homemade. So there you go. That's my theory, and I'm sticking to it. Okay, and now we're going to take this one. We're going to do the same thing. And just stick that down. And glue is definitely the way to go with this because it's good to have that little extra bit of movement if you need it. Right, you get a little scooch room when you use the glue that you won't get if you're using the, and you want this just to be placed perfectly right on top of the green one, okay? So just scooch it around a bit. There we go. Oh, that's really scooched, isn't it? There we go, and I am okie dokie with that. Isn't that pretty? And I love it on the basic white. I just think it looks so good on the basic white. So I'm just going to flip that over and give it a nice press down. And also with the basic white, if you're doing a lot of cards, it's nice to use the basic white because then you don't have to do another sheet inside for your sentiments, right? Now, I've got my piece of vellum on top of this vellum, so I'm not very concerned about getting glue on it, right? Normally you have to be a little bit careful with putting glue on vellum because it'll show through, right? So my vellum is curving up this way a little bit, so I'm going to put it down this way so that the curve is going in a downward motion. And I'm just going to put some kind of in the middle. Just put a little bit of glue right there in the middle. Lay that down, centering it as well as you can. Don't beat yourself up over the centering business, okay? So, like I say, it's a homemade card. It doesn't have to be absolutely perfect. If it did, I'd be screwed. So you'll see it does fold up after, but it's not going to after I'm finished with the rest of it. So now we're going to do our center bit. So that center bit's going to go like this. Now I want to dimensionalize. I love to dimensionalize. And I know people say, but it's too thick to mail. You know what? I've made some pretty thick cards. And I'm sure that if I went to the post office and said how much to mail this card, they're going to tack on another, I don't know, X number of cents to it. I never ask. I just put it in the mail every single time. And I have never had anyone not get their card, ever. Ever. So, and at the rate the post office is, I don't know, not doing so good. I don't know about you, but just about every letter I get in the mail, the stamp is not canceled. So I hope they're not wondering why they're not making any money, because I reuse the stamps. If they're not canceled, I steam them off and I reuse them. I mean, why wouldn't you, right? They're not canceled. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on over at the post office, but they're losing money. They're losing money. They should cancel those stamps. I don't do it every time. It's just that the stamp's really easy to get off. So I'm going to bump this up a little bit, give it some dimension. See, my vellum is curling quite a bit. But that's not the end of the world. You know, plus I'm going to get my candy canes on there. It'll settle it down a little bit. See, I love this circle. It's just a little bit different than your average circle. It is in the catalog, and it's a great little punch. I really like it. I've used it a lot since I got it. So we're going to look at our candy canes, and I think we're kind of going to do this sort of thing, crossing candy canes. So I probably can put those down now, but there's other things that I want to do as well. So let's put our candy canes down anyways. I'm just going to glue them because I've got a dimensional there and there's more dimensionals coming. So I'm just going to guesstimate where I can glue that. I'm staying right about there. And the other one, same thing, almost the whole length of the candy cane you can glue. There's my candy canes. Now, for this, let's see. I think I want to put something, one of my ribbons. And I think maybe the green one, or I also have these. I didn't do the ribbon share this year, and I'm kind of kicking myself because it would have been a really good thing to do. A ribbon share, if you check with your demo, a ribbon share is pretty cool because you get a little bit of every ribbon that's available without having to buy a package of each. So you're basically getting like a half a package. Well, so that's okay, right? That's kind of pretty. It's red with a little bit of gold on it. I'm just trying to decide. There's that one. And then there's also, since I don't have a lot of gold going on the card, let's try this green one. This is what a ribbon share looks like. You get a cardboard with a whole bunch of ribbons on it. And that way you're not buying a whole, I think you get like a half a package of each ribbon. So that way you're able to have everything and try everything without going to a gigantic expense, right? So let's try this one. I'm just going to pop that through those holes. I sure like the idea of having a candy cane through there, though. Yeah, I like the green. I think I like the green. So I'm going to cut that off right about where that fold is because I don't feel like pressing it. Oh, fold it out. There we go. Okay. So that's next. Now what I'm going to do here, I'm going to use a little bit of washi tape just to keep that ribbon in check. Just to keep it from sliding, right? Yeah, I like the green. I think the other one's a little too goldy, but I'm not doing any gold. Not on this one anyways. I'm not doing gold stuff on it. Okay, so I am going to bump this up also, just because that's how I feel about it. I'm going to put a couple of dimensionals there and there. It should land on either side of those candy canes. There they are. Now, I want to fit these guys in because I just think they look really pretty. Yeah, I think they look really pretty. So I'm going to put one here. A little spot of glue there and tuck it in. Yeah, I think they add a lot, just that little extra oomph, right? I'm not seeing much of my circle, but it's there, and you do see little edges of it. So oh, that's pretty. Do you think? So now let's see what we got. These are the embellishments that came with the suite. If you bought the suite, you get these little adhesive sequins. Okay. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of sequins, but I've been using these adhesive ones for the last little while, and actually I'm kind of liking them. So I'm thinking, I can't decide. I think we should use, I've got white ones, green ones, red ones. The red ones aren't very red to me, but that's okay. Hey, let's just see what happens if we took, no, not that one. Let's see what happens if we colored a red one. I want the real red, though. There it is. Real red? Yeah. Let's just see what happens if we color one. Can't hurt, right? Let's color one of these. Yeah, see? That just became a whole lot more red. That by coloring it. Can you see the difference there? It really became a whole lot more red, and that's just coloring it. Like, don't be afraid to color your embellishments, right? Because it's really super easy to do, and it dries instantly. Oh, here, I'm way out of bounds there, but yeah, so you can see it's a lot brighter red if you color it. So I kind of like that. Maybe that and a couple of little guys. Yeah, I like them. To me, they felt a little pink. They felt a little pink just looking at them straight up. So I think using the blend and coloring them is a good idea. So there's one, and we'll do a couple of more. Oh, there we go. And one here. That's cute, right? Do you like that? I think it's super cute. I like the addition of the vellum. You can't see much of the circle behind there, but it's there. And trust me, from what little of the circle that you can see, I mean, you're not seeing the card as close up as I am. If it wasn't there, you'd know it. If it wasn't there, the rest wouldn't fit as nicely as they do sitting on that circle. So cool, right? I quite like that. I had another one that I did, although I don't know exactly where I put it. But so I'm going to be working with this die for a little while now. I just want to straighten out that element. It feels a little crooked to me. Okay. Yeah, so I'm going to be using this set for a little while now. I have all kinds of plans in my head. And I think I will go back online and order the other half of it because I'm seeing so many cards that I like that have the, well, what did I just do with it? I don't know what I just did with my catalog that I have. Oh, yeah, here we go. So I'm seeing so many cards that I like that are using this, that are using these. Like I like to, and the cards in the book as well. These are gorgeous. These are just gorgeous cards, right? These ones in the book, like look at that one. It's just sort of basic and simple, but it's gorgeous. And that I think they did cut it. I think let's look at that. Let's look at that. We have time to look at that, don't we? Let's look at that. If I can find it, because I made such a mess. I just want to look at this because I have a feeling that what they've done is cut one of these in the Whisper White, which is, or the, I keep saying Whisper White because that's what it used to be called. In the basic white, they've cut one of those, so let's do that. Put it right up there in the corner so that I can trim it off after. So let's just see if that's what they've done there. I think they have simply, oh, here we go, here we go. All right, and now I need to cut that. There's my trimmer. I keep tucking things and then I can't find them again after I tuck them. It's a bad habit. So I'm just going to cut this. Okay. And you can also, you know, you can, if you wanted this die cut to be the size of a card front, you can always just cut your 5.5 by 4.25 card front and stamp this on it, and then it will have just an even layer all the way around and still be the same size as your card front. So what paper is that? Let's just see what paper that is. It's got the Pool Party. It's this one. I'm thinking Pool Party and green. Okay, what's wrong with this picture? It can't be that one. It's not going the right way. Or maybe they cut it. Yep, and look at this. Pretty sure that's what they did. They laid it on an angle here, and they cut it. So that you've got your stripes, your green, and your Pool Party stripes. That's pretty slick, right? That's really cool. So you know what I think I'm going to do? Let's try this. Let's try this. We have time, right? Let's just give this a go. So what I'm going to do, which is just easier for me, I don't know, maybe you have an easier way that works for you, but this is kind of the way I work, is that I'm going to put some glue on here. Oh, my glue's gotten goopy. I hate goopy glue. Okay, so I've got that there. Now I'm going to try and place this on here. Look at that. Look at that. That's pretty cool. I like that. That's just another way. And don't think you're wasting any paper because you're really not. You can always use these little bits. In fact, I'm going to do I have a card in mind that I want to do that uses up little bits like this. Okay? So don't get rid of anything. Save it all. Let's see, what's the best way to do this one? Yeah, that's too scary for me. I'm going to cut this with scissors just to get it small enough to trim because that to me is a little bit scary. There we go. Otherwise, I feel like I'm going to cut stuff off I don't want cut off. Well, that's pretty cool. I'm going to do this side first. So save these little bits. We're going to do something with those on a different card. And look at that. Okay, so let's get a red. I have one. I have one here. I did have one here. There it is. I knew I had one. Just by way of example, let's get a red. What size is that? Did I cut something the wrong size? No. Let's get a red card base. And we're just going to. It is kind of a cool idea, isn't it? Just a different way to use paper. So we'll put this to 4 1/4. And we will store that. And let's see what this looks like. How about that? Isn't that nice? I quite like that. Yep, I do. I like that a lot. I think that's very cool. Okay, what other kind of trouble can we get into with this one? What else did they do? Let's just look at what they did. Oh, see, they used that long stamp. They used that really long stamp, and it looks like they did a candy cane. Let's do this one. What the heck? Have you got time, Kim? I'm just making a great big mess, but that's okay. That's okay. That doesn't matter. I'm going to use, what kind of candy canes did they use? Well, they actually did one that they did embossing, but I'm not going to do that because I don't really have, I'll run out of time doing that one. I don't want to keep you here till 7 o'clock at night. But I'm going to grab this red and white one because I think it's nice. Or no, I'm not. I'm going to grab this red and green one because I like it. And this paper, I'm not even going to think about the stripe that's on the other side. I'm pretty much just going to be using the candy canes on here, I'm thinking. So I'm not worried about how I cut this or which way I cut it or whatever, because I know myself. I'm going to be using all the candy canes. I'm not even going to be thinking about the, and look, see we cut that white one here? There's my strip to put the sentiment on, right there. That's it. Or this one. One of these strips is what I'm going to put that sentiment on. See? Good idea to keep these, right? Good idea to keep them because they come in handy. Right now they're coming in real handy. Now I've made such a mess that I can't find anything. So let's just see if I can grab a candy cane. If not, well, then I'm in trouble. There we go. There we go. I got candy canes. So let's cut this one. And some washi tape. And I'll run that through. I got us a candy cane. Well, we're really winging it now. I hadn't even thought of this card, but I'm looking at the catalog thinking, There's so many cards in there to case if you want to. So we got this. So we needed this and this and this. What else do we need? It looks like they're using a little piece of, oh, we're going to do this. We're going to stamp this, and I'm going to stamp this in the, you know what? I'm going to stamp it in Evening Evergreen because I love how Evening Evergreen stamps, and it's one of my favorites. So let's find that. And we need a long, nope, we'll need this guy. And Evening Evergreen. Now, here's the tricky bit. Can I pull this off? Can I? You know what? I don't know if I can or not, but I'm going to give it a try. That's a pretty tight space to stamp in. Normally, you know, I like to stamp it and then die cut it, but this is like a pre-made bit here that came from our leftovers. So I'm going to give it a go. So, fingers crossed. Let's see if I can get that. And if it's not perfect, I'm rolling with it. Because, hey, yes, Knight of Navy. Love it. It's not perfect, but I'm going to go with it. It's not perfect, but it's hard to get something like that quite so perfect. So we've got this and we've got this. Now, they've also used a little strip. I'm just going right from the catalog here. They've also used a little strip of the paper that has the green dots. So let's find that. Here it is. And I'm going to cut a strip, and I think it's a fairly narrow strip. My goodness, have I made a mess. Yeah, so I'm going to cut like a, let's get that out of the way before something ends up in it. I'm going to cut just a narrow strip. I'm not even going to tell you what it is. It's just that size. That size of strip. It's under a half, but it's not a quarter. So I got that, and I think what they've done is they've trimmed off the edge on an angle and folded it over. And then I'm going to cut it. It's meant to look like a little ribbon, okay? So now I'm going to put it like this and take off the other edge, like so. See that? So let's give this a little dot of glue so that we can make it look officially like a ribbon. Okay. So we got all of these things. Now, the other thing we need is, let's find this little thing. I need a couple of these leaves. And I'm going to stamp these in the garden green, in keeping with the paper. Oh, look at the mess I've made. I have made such a mess. It's okay though. It doesn't matter. Lovely. Lovely. And I'm going to do 2 of those. And like I said before, if I can find it, the dies give you 2 leaves. I just have to find them. Could be a tall order. Nope, there they are. So I'm able to cut both these leaves at the same time, which is nice. I like being able to do that because that's basic. It's very time consuming doing all the cutting and stuff. But if we can save a little time by doing 2 at one time, well then that's awesome. That's pretty awesome, I think. Okay, now we've got our 2 leaves. You can also use There's a great punch that gives you nice little leaves and things like that too, that just punches them out of green cardstock. You could also do that instead of stamping your leaves. But I really like these stamped leaves. I think they look quite nice. All right, so let's see what we've done here. So let's put this down for starters. And I'm doing mine on a green base. I think they've done theirs on a white one. But I happen to have this green one, or this red one, sorry, this red one sitting here. So I'm doing mine on a red base. Let's see how that looks. Looks pretty good to me. No. Nice thing about this is you do have a second or two to get it right. There we go. There's my head again. Sorry about that. There's our card base there. Now, what have they done? Let's see again. They have a candy cane. They have a candy cane sitting on a ribbon. Sort of like so. They've got a couple of sprigs. So I want to turn my candy cane a little bit. So let's start with the ribbon. I want to turn that candy cane just a little bit. Oh, it's stuck in the things. Okay, so let's start with the ribbon. And let's just put the ribbon. I'm just following the picture in the catalog. Let's just put the ribbon sort of like that. Okay? Looks good to me. Then we'll get our candy cane, and I'm thinking that it needs to be popped up. Some dimensionals here. Make sure you get one in the middle so we don't have soggy middles. And there we are. So I'm going to put this on a bit of a jaunty angle like they have. Sort of like so. Then we got a couple of, now that's going right across. Where is that going? Going right across here. See what a good fit that is? Now I don't know if that's what they did, but it certainly works, doesn't it? I'm going to put this on next. And I'm going to use some mini dimensionals. A couple on this end. A couple on this end, and I'm thinking a little glue in the middle, right? So it's good and stuck down. There we go. Oh, I'm liking it. It's pretty, right? Oh no, tell me I didn't lose a leaf. There it is. And we got one coming out here. And we can just glue and tuck. See that? Just tuck it in there. Glue is goopy. It makes me nuts. And that one, tuck that one under there. Now, they have used, what can I use here? I'm going to use these little gold balls because they have used, in the catalog, they've used those little, well, let's see. Let's see. I have them. I have them. I just don't know where I put them. The little sticky back sequins they've used. But do I have the little? I do have the little ones. So they've used these little sticky back sequins, and why not? We'll use them because they're part of the suite, right? So let's go ahead and use those. So I'm going to do them just like they've got in the catalog, because that's the whole point of pasting the catalog, is doing it like they've done it. So I'm going to put a big one here. It's really big. I don't know. No, it's too big. I don't like the big one on there. So I'm going to do two on each. I'll do one here. And one here. Another one there. There we go. Now this one I'll have to do a card inside, okay, which I will do. There we go. Look at that. That was pretty good. I like those. They're pretty good, right? So this one is cased from the catalog on page 8. I love it. I think it's gorgeous. And both cards, you know, in less than the usual hour that it takes me to make a card. So that's a bonus too. What's happening here? Why won't this post? Okay. So that's a bonus too, right? So you got 2 cards there for in 1 hour. And I love them both. I love this thing. I just think this is the coolest thing since sliced bread. And don't even think of it just for Christmas. You know the gold, the glitter paper? I was thinking about this for like a masculine card with gold glitter paper and black underneath for like a 50th birthday or something like that. There's so many possibilities to use with that stamp. So I will post these to Facebook so you can have a look at them. And if you'd like to taste them, you're more than welcome to do so. I think that was fun. And I think the idea of using paper, I haven't tried that before, the idea of using paper as a ribbon is kind of clever too. So I really like that. So I hope you enjoyed that. I'm going to go off and see what my husband's doing for dinner. And until next time, I am going to concentrate on this set, and we'll just see how my timing goes with work. I am working a little bit less, but not much. So we'll just see how my timing goes. But I've got lots of other cards in my brain that I want to play with you with this set. So until next time, happy stampers. Bye for now.